Yeah, go.
Yeah, I had okay, hi everybody. I had a friend over, so one of our best friend, my wife, and we met over 20 years ago, and we use a BioCoherent app, and she has the integral BioCoherent score of 67, which is amazing, and she's well good in shape. And we were like, whoa, I never measured 67. And the lady is 70 years old, 70,
Yeah.
it's
You said
no,
17.
70, 70,
Oh,
not
yeah.
17, 70. Yeah.
17. Okay. Nice.
Was that from a first scan or from a number of scans?
No, I would say in the last year, I make 5 scans, and she's always over 60. So never below 60. I did around 4 or 5 scans, and it's always 60 and more. And I mean, she has a really good, and she, you never smoke, no drugs, no alcohol, nothing like that. A brave lady in a sense, I would say. But it's so amazing to see that. And she was only complaining that her chakras are not connecting to each other. It's like, oh, what's happening? Just a little bit communication here and there, and this is it. And I said, is something wrong? I don't know.
But it would be interesting to see if the chakra-related frequencies on meditation would indeed connect our chakras together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was, I
It
said,
should.
maybe after the meditation looks different or something like that, But it was really nice. And but you can also see that she has always a little in the background some organisms who are running around, and we cannot catch them. But this is always the situation since 5 years, so it's not a new situation, but it's amazing to see an old woman like this in this shape. And I noticed that the chakras are always nice because people are so fascinated by how it looks, and then if you jump from 7 to 12, there's also a difference and stuff like that. So it was a good experience.
Yeah. Cool. Anybody else want to share any good feedback? You were speaking about the new interface before I started recording. We just released 26.34, so it's already released on iOS. It was approved by Apple a few minutes ago, and so we will officially release it for other platforms, Android and computers. In fact, I wanted to do that before the call. I will do it just after the call. Anyway. So this new version has a lot of very interesting things. What we did is focus on the content. And to focus on the content, let me share my screen maybe. I've lost Zoom. No, this one. Okay. So the main news is this new basic program recommendations that are now front and center when you start the app. Whether it's for you, for our clients, or for a new user that has absolutely no custom exploration, personal exploration. So the idea is that everybody that starts BioCoherence from scratch, even without entering a login and password, will already have some propositions of basic programs. Because I want to give immediately a taste of what BioCoherence can do for you when you start the app, even without creating an account, which is quite amazing. We now have several hundreds of basic programs, and it will continue to expand. And you can see this series is the last one, which is Miracle Oracle by my daughter Carla. And you can just browse. So when you start the app, you have 4 or 5 or 6, 7 recommendations that are rotated according to your personal evaluation. If you have a sensor and you did an evaluation, we can actually now measure how the basic programs are adapted to your current status. So it will take your latest exploration. It will just save the status of your different biomarkers, and it will compute the different basic programs according to the biomarkers that are included into the basic programs and according to your own basic program biomarker evaluations. So this one is best for you, though best for me. But I have other ones that are not related to my own evaluation, but related to different time parameters. So it can be good at this season, good at this hour. It's exploration time because it's 4 in the afternoon. And we are on January 8th and so on. So all of this is computed from these different parameters. And for instance, when the season is changing, you will be recommended to do a fuel basic program related to TCM receipts and meridians and so on to just get in sync with the new seasons. So this is the kind of logic that I wanted to implement into the basic programs. The basic programs are done for general purpose, and this general purpose can just be rotated and proposed according to your own evaluation, but it can also be computed according to the current time. So we have season, we have the current hour, focus on your healing capacities, for instance, to rest, good on this season, and one is computed according to the sky. So it's not directly astrology. It's computed from the current day, the current planet positions, and the current zodiac signs. From that, we compute an equation with some of these basic programs. And the goal of this is just to get a fun way to discover how many new basic programs there are, because you don't really know how many basic programs there are if you don't browse them. One of the good things in the latest version is that you have this basic program adjustment settings here. Let me just check something. Yes, okay. And so even if you are not a registered user, you can actually say that you want to filter by man or woman, which only excludes some of the programs that are related to the opposite genre. So, of course, if you check man here, you won't have anything related to ovaries, for instance, or any woman-specific disease. And conversely, if you check woman, you won't have anything related to prostatis and things like that. And you can just check some of the keywords of the tags that are related to the different categories basic programs. And this is brand new, so it's not really nice yet. It's just a bunch of tags. But it opens a lot of possibilities because, for instance, when you state these preferences, you will be recommended some specific programs. So these recommendations will now change. As you can see, if I just click here, it will recompute the recommendation and it will change after a few seconds. And so this selection might change a little bit because I change some categories. And you can even choose to include some animal categories. If you don't include, by default, nothing is selected. And if you don't check any of the animal categories, the basic programs, the new basic program for animal will never be recommended on the front page because it would only be for an animal. But if you choose to check here one of the interests related to an animal, for instance, respiratory, then one of the basic program will be recommended for animal. And the logic is that it would be recommended for your animal, of course. So if you want to check any of the animal categories, it would only be because you have an animal that is currently concerned by one of these tags. So don't check anything related to animals if you don't have an animal. But if you have one, feel free to do it because it will be then included into the basic program recommendations. So take that only as a fun way to discover new programs and get programs that might be related to the good time. So something to make an adventure because it's the evening, or something to just relax because it's the middle of the day, or to just get full of energy because it's the morning. That's the logic of this new basic program recommendations. yesterday, Steven told me that there was a problem to find specific basic programs. Let me just remind you that Search Anything can search basic programs. So if you enter anything into the Search Anything here, I don't know, liver, for instance, you will find everything that is related to livers, including basic programs, okay? But for convenience, in the next version, when you click on all programs, for instance, you will have here a search box that is the same as Search Anything, but only related to basic programs. And you will have the same one for the harmonizer programs, because we have more than 9,000 harmonizer programs. And there was not a search function until now. So starting with the next version, you will have a search function here for all basic programs and the same for all harmonizer programs. So that should answer your concern from yesterday when you were looking for some specific basic programs. And as you said, Michael, the latest version introduces this very nice new menu that you can choose to collapse automatically or to keep. So if you click on fold menu, it will stay always opened. But if you fold it, it will just give you a little bit more space. And as you can see, if I open an exploration, the menu on the left will be changing while it's loading and will be opening the content of the different pages here that are related to my current exploration. So all of this is related to, it's a shortcut to the different pages from the exploration, and you can see the keystroke if you want to go directly to all of this part. So I really like this new left-hand menu. I don't know if you like it, but you have the choice to remove it completely or keep it always open or just fold it like that. And as you said, Michael, it looks more and more like a desktop interface that you are used to use on computers.
Yeah.
Anyone want to jump in? No?
How's that work?
I will. I'll say that my clients really like the new way it's set up, what you just went through.
Yeah.
With the new AI helpers.
Okay, cool.
And one of my clients was like, "Oh my God, they have stuff for dogs," because she has dogs. I'm like, and she's like, "I love this more and more." I'm telling you, people love their animals.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy because animals was something I wanted to do since long, and starting with basic programs was, I think, the right move, because I was waiting to include animals until a time where we could actually do an evaluation on animals, which is frankly still a long time away, because we have to work on a lot of different baselines and visualizations and so on. So it's quite complicated, but you gave me the idea of doing basic programs for animals because it worked so much with your animals. And so at that point, when we started adding some programs for humans in the different categories, it became very logical to add this new animal section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll keep them coming back.
Yes, and we will do some more programs, because all of these programs come from the new TCM recipes that we added into the latest update. And so if you want to go back to that, which one is it? Yes.
And then one more question before I leave.
Yes, please.
I would like to know why that you renamed the flower petals.
Renamed the flower petals? What do you mean?
Renamed the flower petals.
I don't know what you're...
The flower petals like this.
Yes.
You renamed them. So Resource is now something else, and there's one more I can't remember. I just remember resource.
Okay, so I know what you say that it's only in the case of negative organisms, I think. It's not for all petals. It's only when you are on organisms where we wouldn't call a resource when one specific organism is very active if it's a negative one. So I think it's only when you go to organisms, resource is called something like dynamization or activate. I don't actually remember.
Yeah, it didn't make sense to me, but I was like, oh, okay. So if that's it, then that's fine.
So resource, to be clear, resource should always be resource, except for where will I find that? Resource. Mobilization and stabilize. So if, okay, so what's the rule? If we are on something that is potentially bad for you, it can be a negative emotion, so in the drives, or it can be a nasty bug in organisms. In these cases, resource is renamed mobilization, and stabilizing is renamed low impact. That was because at some point in the priorities, we had some nasty bugs, and people would not understand that you could have, I don't know, HPV or Epstein-Barr or anything that would be called resource. And it's true, it was a bit strange. And that's why now, if you see Epstein-Barr, for instance, and it's in the purple state, it will not be subtitled resource, but it will be subtitled mobilization.
Good. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good.
Mobilization.
The time there. So sorry, Dan. Go ahead.
What mobilization? I didn't understand what you said, Medrick.
Yeah, mobilization is the name for is what we call the petal state resource. So the purple state when you have high energy and low agitation. In the case of something that is potentially nasty for you, so a negative drive or a nasty bug, a nasty organism.
And you said it was mobilization?
Yes.
Okay.
With my beautiful French accent.
I've seen that, and I kind of understood what it said. It made sense.
Yeah.
Because you always look for high energy and low agitation.
Yes. But maybe not in the case of these particular bugs. Especially when it comes in priorities. It led to some questions by users, like, why do I have this nasty bug in my priorities and it says resource? So that's why we decided to change the title resource to mobilization.
So besides using the AI, how would somebody address that? In other words, if it's mobilization and it's really high energy and low agitation, so it means it's really focused, how would somebody address that without using the AI?
The AI would potentially be here just to explain what you have. Our targeting modalities are still the same: harmonic boost, personal guide, and harmonizer.
I understand it would be in the harmonizer or personal guide or the harmonic boost, but what is the theory behind that? How does it address it? Does it build up something on the other side of the coin, or what? How is the program responding to that?
Do you mean for the analysis or for?
So no, say you've got Epstein-Barr, or hopefully you don't have HIV, but Epstein-Barr or something like that. So how does the program address that? In other words, I can always do AI, but AI sometimes doesn't tell me how it got there. I'm just interested in how biocoherence, because people often ask me that question. Well, how does biocoherence deal with that? I try to use the one coin, two sides.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So
that isn't always.
I just don't understand. Why do you bring up AI about that? Because AI is here to explain you something?
Well, okay, maybe it's just because I'm too nerdy or something, but AI will say, "Oh, well, we'll use this or we'll use that." It's just like wounds. When you do wounds, I don't understand the wounds concept. It doesn't. Sometimes the words are there, sometimes they're not there. And
Okay, so just to be clear, we use AI not for computing the file, but just to explain what is happening. So AI in BioCoherence is only used when you ask for something to explain a screen or to get some recommendation based on your biomarkers, but the biomarkers by themselves are not computed with generative AI like ChatGPT or anything. It's computed only with all the algorithms that I designed in the last 10 years. And some of this design resemble maybe what could happen in deep learning systems, but it's not AI. Okay, so AI, you would use AI only to say, okay, it seems, for instance, what is happening in my organisms, and the AI will receive your analysis and see that your Epstein-Barr analysis, for instance, is very energetic and low agitation, and explain you how it comes into this state. Now, after that, we have a set of frequencies that we can use in the harmonic boost, and we have these personal guide meditations that we can use to try and balance the terrain and the system in a systemic, in a systems theory approach. To be frank, it's still quite a mystery how bioresonance or any energetic system can deal with parasites. Some say it kills the parasites because the frequencies are destabilizing the parasite system. I'm not sure about that. I think we are more on the side of balancing the whole system and re-establishing communication on a systemic level. It means what we do with BioCoherence is restore links between things that should be speaking together in your system and maybe are not speaking anymore for whatever reason. So it can be an emotional impact, it can be a physical impact, it can be an external burden that comes to you, for instance, EMF, or for instance, parasites, or for instance, I don't know, depression or bad emotions or anything that just puts you under a constant burden. And your system is not designed to address this burden systematically for a very long time. We are very good warriors. When we have a threat, an immediate threat, we go into fight mode and we do something. But if you have a threat that is ongoing since months or years, it becomes something chronic, and your system is just deregulating. So we can compute all of these deregulations, whether it's chronic or whether it's acute. And we can see it thanks to these algorithms that allow us to compute everything from your electrical activity. And what I think is that the frequencies that we apply with the harmonic boost and the personal guide and the harmonizer are here to reopen doors that are shut down somehow because of these burdens, and to restore communication and to teach again your organism to work as it should work, because your organism should have a lot of self-healing capacities. We are constantly bombarded by nasty things, and we don't fall ill all the time. 99% of the time we deal with these problems without even knowing that we had the problem, because our body and our mind are absolutely incredible machines, and we are extremely good designed. But 1% of the time we fall under because we don't know how to, or maybe we forgot how to deal with this particular burden. And by just creating these links again, thanks to the frequencies that create resonances between things that should be speaking together, it seems we are able to have very good effects, given all the testimonies that we have since now almost 2 years that we are in beta. So does that answer your question?
Well, yes, in a way. Thank you for that. My only concern, or a part that I am still questioning, and it's not that it's good or bad. I'm trying to understand it, because in most cases when we're dealing with, and this is not talking about parasites, this is talking about other systems in the body.
Yeah.
We add energy. Like if you look in drives where it's constructive and then destructive, usually, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, or I have a misconception of how the program works. But it's like if you need to address something, well, you can work on the either constructive or destructive side, but normally that would be something that I would choose. The program normally goes to add energy, like to the destructive side.
No, it doesn't really work by adding energy. It works mostly by recreating links. So
Maybe creating what?
Links.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why you can work on a negative emotion directly, or you can work on a nasty parasite directly, because when we work on the structures, we want to teach this structure to work in a nice way into the bigger organism that is you. So in a way, for instance, if you have Escherichia coli, it should be a positive bacterium that is into your gut and that helps you digest things. But if it goes out of your gut, it will just destroy you. So Escherichia coli can be a very good ally or can be a very nasty enemy, depending on how it works with the global organism. And it's the same for everything in your body. If you have some focus on your work, it's a very good thing. But if you have hyper focus and you become obsessed by something, it's negative. Everything is a question of equilibrium and communication. And because we are a living system with so many moving parts, it's complicated, and sometimes these parts just block. And so we are trying to just restore communication in the whole system. And it's not just a question of, we will not add energy to the Escherichia coli if we work with the frequencies of Escherichia coli, but we will teach again Escherichia coli to be in harmony with the whole body and to be in its just place in the system somehow.
Well, thank you for that. I just want to add one more thing. Maybe it was my misinterpretation or my use of words. I didn't necessarily mean that it's adding energy. You are hitting the, I'll just say E. coli. You're hitting E. coli with the E. coli frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's been explained to me in the past. That's what I was trying to discern. Now, if anybody else has a question, please jump in, but I'm trying to really understand this more because...
Yeah, it's interesting to know that, for instance, with other systems, when you work on E. coli, if you work with Hulda-Clark frequencies, for instance, you will try to destroy E. coli. If you work with bioresonance, you will try to mitigate its effect and maybe destroy it too. The frequencies that are included into BioCoherence are an entirely different set of frequencies. The frequencies that we use for E. coli are frequencies that you don't find anywhere else. For the structures, okay? I will go then to the stimuli because it's different. We really focus on the last step of what is really the heart of BioCoherence, which is links. And all of these links that you see on the different screens of BioCoherence is something that no other system on Earth gives you, because it's so complicated to compute and to make into a system, but it is because we have this layer of complexity that is presented so simply at the end that we can then compute these frequencies to restore these links and basically just create harmony into you. BioCoherence, you could say BioCoherence is just a tool to recreate harmony.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, please.
Dan, and my journey with scan system started 5 years ago, where I went to Geneva and used the Russian system. And after the scan, the lady told me that I have a virus in my lung, and the virus is living there. And I was like, what? So you know her, it's Melania Milbert, Mederick. And so that was my first experience with the scan system. And then, of course, there are other methods I use to kill the virus with other things, but for me, it was amazing to see that with the help of such a system, you can see what kind of stuff is in your body living and doesn't belong there. For example, this virus is not a bacteria, and 1 year later, the virus was gone. She could measure it again, and the virus was gone. And I think the same can happen with this system, with the BioCoherence system, that people see something, don't know what it is, and have to go to some expert, and they're telling, okay, this is we have to do something, and they can see it, and they can because they can name it, they can do something with it.
Yes, but I must add just a word of caution about how we detect the organisms with this kind of systems. We detect that some resonances are present in your system that match the footprint of these organisms. So you always have to, it always has to be clear in your system that we do not look at the organism with a microscope and check their DNA and so on, etc. So it means that when you have with such a system, or even with BioCoherence, when you see, I don't know, Epstein-Barr virus that is very agitated, it can mean two things. It can mean that Epstein-Barr virus is indeed very agitated in your system, or it can mean that all the effects of your system are currently mimicking what happens when you have Epstein-Barr virus. And this is very interesting because in that case, you have to go to the emotional explanation of why you might need Epstein-Barr virus at this point. And you will see mostly that it reflects some things that are happening in your system right now in your life.
Can I speak for a second? So I've always considered parasites, viruses, and all that stuff as the cleanup crew. They're there because something's out of balance.
Yes.
And so the idea of the analyzation there and the way what's happening that I'm noticing with the frequencies is that although it's identifying these things and it may come up, it's looking at, okay, now it's all living in our system. We all have every one of those things in our energetic field. The universe is within us. When something's out of balance, the body is going to try to find homeostasis and find a balance to it. And what's happening with your software then is it's seeing that and it's identifying the other things that can help put things back into balance.
Yes.
So thinking of things as that we're trying to kill them isn't the answer. It's trying to resonate back into a balance of homeostasis so there's harmony inside the different bodies, the mental, the etheric, the emotional body, and the physical body. And they all have to run in a balance. And the cool thing with all the different protocols that you have, it shows where it's coming from, where the imbalance is emotional, or whether it's physical, or where is it coming from. And there aren't too many things out there that I've seen that can put all those categories together for us to understand.
Yeah, and that's why we work with so many different priorities, be it meridians, acupuncture points, emotions, or anything, because the whole system is in balance, and you have to tackle everything somehow to align everything. So it's very good. Okay, very interesting, and thank you for this.
So maybe we could say that when BioCoherence detects these frequencies or an aggregate of frequencies that add up to a certain I'm just going to say Epstein-Barr or E. coli, right? Okay, so it adds up to that. And that could be another way of saying that is, okay, so, this is food for that parasite. Now, whether you have it or not, that, you may or may not have it, but the conditions are there for that. So
Exactly.
that's an
Yeah.
site.
It means that your terrain, you understand terrain? Terrain? I don't know.
I don't
Is
understand the word.
Yeah, is somehow ready to
Tolerance.
Sorry?
Is that what you were saying? Tolerance?
No, terrain. Terrain. I think you say the same in English.
Your terrain.
Terrain.
Yes, and like your landscape, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Terrain.
Terrain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, yes. So your terrain is ready to welcome this parasite because this parasite would actually, as was said before, would actually come to clean the mess that you have inside, and that is somehow perfectly feeding him. So you can in a way you can say, if I have this parasite, it's not by chance, it's not random. It's just because my organism was really ready to welcome it. And so you need two things. You need a terrain that is ready to welcome it, and you need to actually be in contact with the parasite, of course. But what we can read with BioCoherence is the state of your terrain. And we can say, okay, you are actually welcome. You are actually in very good shape to welcome this nasty bug. So let's just hope that you don't get in contact with it. But in the meantime, we can see everything that is related to the welcoming of this bug and work around so that you are not you will be modifying your system.
Wherever the conditions for life exist, life will exist. That life will exist.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where it is, in your body, out in space, on a rock, wherever.
Yeah. And that's why if you are a medical doctor and you enter a leprosy, for instance, you will not catch it because your energy is high and your terrain is not ready to catch it. Although it's a very nasty bug.
So there's a lot of bugs that are there to feed on heavy metals. We're also polluted by our environment, the air, the water, the foods that we're eating and stuff like that. So I think they come in to feed on the waste because our body gets congested. And so the idea of keeping our body clean is part of the process that we expect just the frequencies to solve all of our problems. We have to have some self-discipline and be an active participant in our healing process and not just think we're going to hook ourselves up to a frequency machine and the answers are all there.
Yeah, but that's why I think the personal guide is ultimately the best tool that we have in BioCoherence, because connecting with our inner selves and connecting back with our emotions and with our organs and with our body is, I think, the best thing we can do to become the best human possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, do you want me to show you the latest adventures that we added or the latest cards?
Go back.
Yeah, please.
So at the beginning, I kind of missed the front part. You were showing like the daily astrology thing. Where was that?
Yes. Okay. So let me go back to the app and
So
share.
I'm looking too at the one question. Like I was a little sick yesterday, and I did my scan, and I'm at like a 64.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at some of these programs where they give you like an evaluation.
Okay.
And how like it gives you a number. So let's say it's like in the 40s or something. Is there something that you could speak of on that number?
In the basic
Even though it
programs?
may be lower than your regular number. What's that?
In your basic programs, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all these like
Yeah. Okay. So let me explain again how it works for the basic programs.
Yeah.
Because you don't really want to use it as a diagnostic tool. You want to use it as a guide to
Right.
understand what basic programs would be good for you. So on your homepage, you have some recommendations. So let's just go to the home. Here you will get some recommendations that come from the current time or that come from your own evaluation, which the one with your icon and says best for you comes from your personal evaluation.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Do you see?
I'm looking at it on my phone too. So,
okay.
Because I had it on the screen where I was just looking at the green on the right and looking for the highest green. And
Okay, so
what is like my best background today? If I'm just going to play a frequency, like what is my based on your last evaluation?
Yes, exactly. So based on the last evaluation, you will see here best for you. Okay, and this one will be always the same until you do a re-evaluation or a new exploration. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other ones will rotate every time you launch the app. You will have a different set of recommendations, and this could be based on your main interests that you can just choose here. Again, it will be probably nicer in next versions, and it will be probably part of an onboarding system when people launch the app for the first time. We will just ask them what they are interested in, and it will end up into this recommendation system.
How did you get to the recommendations again?
Here, on the right of basic programs. Right now, it's a little bit hidden, but it will probably be front and center in a next version.
Yeah, I missed it on my phone that first time, but
to be frank, it's just on the latest version, which is released a few minutes ago. So it was on the beta since a few days, and it will be in the official version as soon as we finish this code and I click on the button to publish it.
So how did you get out of the recommendations back to basic programs? Yeah, in that box, how do you go back? Oh, you click up like information. Okay.
You click anywhere else.
Gotcha. I got you. Okay. Because there's no back arrow, so people don't.
It's true. There should be a close.
Oh, there's no back arrow.
Yeah, there should be a close button here on computers. So I will check why it's not here. But usually we have a close button here.
Well, that was how I couldn't get out of context when it goes to the page, to stop.
No, I think you had another problem. I think you had a real bug.
Oh, okay.
No,
because that
which has
really
been fixed.
turned the doctor off. He wasn't there to buy something. He was there to get fire rate, but I wanted to show him that
there was a bug in contacts and it fixed. Okay. So let me go back to what TJ is.
This is getting awesome really fast. So you hear what I'm asking here, because you could basically get into this with your evaluation and just see something that's gonna.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to all programs and you go to energy, for instance, and then you have some ways to order things according to your own evaluation. So if you click on your icon, you will see first the one that is the best for you, all teams related. So energy, body, and mind. This one, if I do it, it would add the most. It would be the best for me at this time. Then this one, then this one, and so on. If I want the one that gives the most energy, I can click on the energy icon. The best for my organs, or the best for my mind. Okay. So this is a way to order the different basic programs, because when you have a list of basic programs like that, you don't know which one to do. And so you have now these little badges. And these badges come.
Ones will go to the top.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Okay. I'm on the top.
This is free for all without even having a user account.
But you need to have these badges. You need to have a sensor, and you need to have an exploration, or you need to have seen a pro that did an exploration for you. And the first time you load the exploration, it will compute in the background all basic programs, and then you will have this evaluation. So it can give you some hint on what programs would be interesting to you. But for instance, I would not use it as a diagnostic tool to say, oh, it seems I have COVID issues, post-COVID respiratory, because this is the most interesting for me. It just means that the content of this program here, all the frequencies and the content of these programs have been evaluated against my own And this is the most useful program in this category for me. So do not use it to say, oh, it says post-COVID and post-viral fatigue and so on, so I've probably been hit by something like that. It means that this basic program is the most adapted for me. It doesn't mean that I had COVID, okay? So
Right.
don't mix the two.
Mine is post-operative right now, and I didn't have an operation. But
Yes, exactly. The post-operative is often recommended because of the content of this program, and because the post-operative is good to heal, to heal scars, for instance, to reconstruct the inner of your body, and so on. It doesn't mean that you had an operation. It means that the content of this program is good for you. Okay, so do not mix the basic program recommendation with anything diagnostic. Okay. We don't have these badges for animals, of course, because we don't want to mix your own evaluation with animals. So even if you have, you shouldn't have it. Yeah, but you don't have the badges, of course, for animals. But you have the badges on adventures, and this one is really fun because we now have 3 series of adventures, and adventures should be just taken as something fun to do. You know, when you want to, I don't know, look at the TV and a series, maybe you can just do a nice meditation instead.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And you would go to the solar system and you would say, oh, today I want to go to Venus, or I want to go to the sun, or to Jupiter, or today I don't know what I want to do. So I just click on my head and I would see that I have to go to Eros first, and to Ganymede second, and to Ceres then. And I just have to launch either the frequencies or the meditation and just enjoy the ride. And please test it because it's actually really wonderful to get some healing on Eros or to Ganymede.
yeah, that's what I was looking at. So, okay. I guess so what I'm saying is, with your current numbers, it's a matter if that's below or above. It's just going to add to it.
Yes.
But if there's one that's higher than your actual number, that you should probably be doing it for sure.
Yeah. So if you do the numbers that are the highest, it will be more focused on this specific part. And these numbers just tell you that every structure that you have in your evaluation and that is included into this basic program needs to be worked more. Okay. So the highest the number, the lowest your own evaluation regarding to the content of this basic program. It means that if you do this basic program, you will gain more because your numbers are low.
And then what I was getting at too with that, and the one that you showed at first at the beginning with the daily, like, which was kind of like a resonance for the calendar or whatever. Is that right? Did I understand that right? So if you were, I guess what I was getting at as far as selling this for like a place for the environment, let's say you have a shop and you want people to feel good today when they walk into your shop, or if you have like a studio or whatever, you could have like a background frequency.
Yeah, sure.
That's adapting.
Was it like when I was playing emotional rescue when I went to the different fairs and used the globes? Yeah, is that like what you're saying?
Yeah, but in general, but like resonating with that. So I was looking at, I was trying to find what you were talking about at the beginning. If you could show us that again.
Okay, so
basic programs, and then click on your head and what comes up for you. This is good.
No, because this would be general. He was saying there is a general.
The general is the best one from all categories here. So good at this season, good at this season, good at this season, and so on. And this one is best for you.
Wait, didn't you say that there was one at the beginning that
yes.
you were talking about that you said?
Okay, so the first one would be if you have an ongoing basic program because you launched the basic program, it will always be here. Okay, and it will say basic program in progress. Okay, and then if you want to scroll, the second one should be the best for you.
Right, but okay. I was looking at one that was more general rather than using like an exploration. Like, hey, today it's Monday.
Yes, so you will have one energy, one physical, and one adventure, and one for the mind. So we try to pick things from different categories. But for instance, this one is from Miracle Oracle, and you can just go meet Jean if you want. And this is just a suggestion for today. because the contents of this program are good at this season, good at this hour, and good for exploration. And if you want to know what is inside, you can just click on it, and you would see, because you have the specific meditation that has been written by Carla related to the card, to the gene. And so if you want the whole text, you have some, the text is limited now to 1 line. So you just click on it if you want to get the text. And so if you feel like meeting a gene and having fun with a gene, you can just do this meditation, but it will also work on your kidneys, your bladder, your heart, spleen, and so on, your lower throat chakra, your organs, senses, and bladder, and some drives, because this is related to what the gene can actually do you. The principle of these adventures are that it's a fun way to heal, okay? It's play to heal. It's the start of play to heal that I wanted to implement into BioCoherence. So if you have someone that you want to heal that is 12 and that is very connected to, I don't know, elves or dragons, why not do a meditation about dragons? You know, it's a different way to heal.
Then I would put that on there, play to heal, because that's awesome, especially for parents that want their kids to like listen to this, because the kids do like this and will ask for it. At least in my experience. So if you say play to heal, or specifically for children or for lightheartedness, kind of make it a little bit more of a draw.
Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe you need dinosaurs and transformers, like, kids in America. My grandkids, they dinosaurs or trucks, good trucks,
But one thing you have to know is that one thing you have to know is that these cards are currently in the process of being made as a physical deck. Okay, so it's an oracle that will be a physical deck that users can buy and play with. So it's another layer of what we can do, and that's why it looks like cards. So it will be soon possible to buy these cards and maybe use it as tarot card if you want. If you want to just take a card by chance, and there will probably be a QR code or anything that can launch the app and directly the good meditation if you want. So
that can be cool.
Yeah,
you can draw a card and then you can look into the bio and play the frequency for the card.
Yeah, exactly. So it's another way to play to heal, you know. And of course, the ultimate layer of play to heal is my other daughter, Isis, that is currently working on a game.
This gentleman.
Yeah. And she's working on an amazing game that would be directly driven by your own exploration. And the whole game, so it's a 3D game that you can play on a computer, or via sets, or even on a smartphone. And the whole world of the game will be generated according to your own internal vitals that are computed from your own exploration, which is absolutely amazing. So it's a lot of work, but I think it will be awesome.
Yeah, I had a game like that Deepak Chopra was supposed to have made. I think it was in the 20 years ago or whatever, but it never, it didn't work well, and it was a boring game. My kids.
Oh, this one will be fun.
But to my question, I don't know if you didn't get. So did I hear this differently then? Because it sounded like you had one of the basic programs that was taking like I thought you said it wasn't astrology, but kind of like astrology, but where the planets were for the day.
Yes. So
energy of the day.
It's not a specific basic program. It's just a way to pick one of the 300 basic programs, one of the existing basic programs, according to the current time and day and stars. It's not big.
What is that?
Yeah.
Do you need an exploration for that, or is that general with like the Earth?
No, it's general. It's general. Okay. Yeah. So if you go back to the recommendation on the homepage, so let me just show you that. So if you go on this one, if you go on this one, this is according to your exploration. So it's only valid if you have an exploration. But if you don't have an exploration, all the other ones, this one is recommended because it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in my time. Okay. This one is because we are on January 8th in my time. This one again because it's 4 o'clock. Again, and this one, for instance, is related to Jupiter because it's somehow in this algorithm the most important planet, and Jupiter is linked to the structures that are included into this basic program most. And so just take it as a fun way of discovering new basic programs. Even for people that don't have any custom exploration, we have a way to recommend them different basic programs each time they start the app. And that is based on the current time, hour, and position of the sky.
Well, TJ, it's like in the seminar when we were working with Christine and you and I were making suggestions for the heart. And we had the sun and we had digestion and other things. It's kind of like that is what he's talking about, like describing Jupiter.
Yeah,
you know.
Well,
yeah. Jupiter is linked.
Hearing for that as far as like a sales pitch is that if we could have you know how people are like looking at the astrology or whatever today, it's like, oh, Mars conjuncts Pluto or whatever, or there's solar flares today. And there's like a lot of people that are like, how do I acclimate to the day because the energy is crazy? Or, you know what I mean? Like it's a full moon day and
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is happening.
Exactly. So the
Mars.
so the moon.
If there's a clear one that people could just push on like in general for the day,
that
would be good for like a shop or in general.
So
like,
it would be
clear and easy on here. That would be great. I
yeah,
think that would be a great sales pitch.
It's exactly the point. So if you start the app and you don't even have an account, you will get some specific recommendations according to the local time, current day, and the sky, and your own tweaks that you can just choose some specific categories that you are interested in. So
and add to it. Okay.
So it will rotate every time you launch the app, and it will create some more fun to use the app. That's the point.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you need?
Yeah, this is great. Just making that easy for the end user. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't know that down, but yeah, getting through that would be a great sales pitch. It's
yes,
like, hey,
yes, and it's
when the kids get home from school because it's going to ground them into the day because this is like today.
yeah, and of course we can do much. Sorry, Dan, I'm just finishing that, and I let you speak. The idea is that we give users some fun things to do and incentives to explore more how they are inside, and of course the next step would be to maybe get the user through notifications, for instance, if they want to receive a notification at some specific times to say, hey, you wanted to, I don't know, you wanted to make an adventure in the evening. Now is the good time, and all of this could gamify a little more your healing process, which is the end goal. Yes, Dan.
I agree with what you're saying, Medrick. My question is, or my statement is, do you need to be connected to the BioCoherence server?
Yeah.
Because maybe your smartphone, maybe it has enough power, to calculate all this stuff. So is a connection, is all of this done locally, or do you need the connection?
You need the connection the first time you do a new structure, or the first time. So the first time you do a new structure, it will download the background noise, the frequencies, and the audio guidance in your language from the server. So at that point, you need to have an internet access, and it will download it exactly like when you launch Instagram. It will download some pictures from internet, but then if you log off from internet, you still have those pictures that are stored locally on your phone, So it's the same for us. The first time you do a specific program, it will download the different structures. So if you launch the harmonic boost, it will download everything. And if you launch the personal guide, you will see on the bottom that it is currently downloading. But the next time you do it, it's already stored locally on your computer, so you don't need internet anymore.
Well, my question relates to, you have already said a couple of times this session that you don't need an account. We're talking about basic programs.
Yes.
What TJ was talking about. So if you don't have an account
Yes.
and you download the program, don't you need to have an account to download the program onto your computer?
No,
Like
not for
something?
not for the basic programs.
Okay.
For the basic programs, if you don't have an account, you have something like 2 free plays for Harmonic Boost and 2 free plays for the personal guide. But anyway, it will download it from our server and it will store it in the device, even if you are not registered with an account.
So the basic programs, are they under the same rules?
Yes.
Okay, so they can't listen to it anytime. They can just listen to it once or twice.
Yes, to discover the app. That's the principle. So you can see the whole catalog. Now we have unlocked the whole catalog of basic programs. You know, before that, before the latest version, you only had a few basic programs and the other were blurred. We removed this because it was not so interesting. And I prefer that everybody is able to see all the awesome thing you can do with all the basic programs. Ultimately, it just gives new users a will to contact a pro, because when they start to do some basic programs and they see how effective it is, maybe you say, oh, if I can have my own program with a pro with some additional stimuli and some specific structures and biomarkers and so on, it would be even better. So the end game is that people start using the app and are amazed because it's really on the point and useful and so on, and want to contact a pro to go further.
Okay, I would. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, then I need to go because I have a doctor's. I need to get ready for my doctor's appointment. I need to jump in the shower, but I would, maybe I'll send you an email about this that we could talk about it. What I want to talk about is theory, because like today, you hope it was helpful for other people. Like when we definitely triggered something in Jeff, and he brought up something that I hadn't really considered.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think we need to start something up and not, well, I don't know. I would rather discuss it offline. Anyway,
Okay.
love all you people. Thank you. This was a very beneficial meeting, but I need to go get my my.
Hi, good morning.
Hey.
Good afternoon. So I've had some questions about well, people have been in a discussion about kids and newborns and vaccines. Does BioCoherence speak up on anything of that? Because I know in each country it's different, but like I don't know how you would test that, or how you would. I don't know if there's even a topic on that. But
I don't think we have anything specific related to vaccines.
If you don't get a vaccine, do you have a frequency for graphite that we could get in case we didn't get any of that?
If we don't have it, we could have this one, probably, yes. So if you have suggestions, maybe just send an email with a list of things that could be missing from the app. We don't have anything specific on vaccines anyway.
Because a lot of like young, I've talked to people who want to be mothers, and then one partner wants the vaccine and one for their kids, and one doesn't. And I don't know if if BioCoherence could help with any of that.
Yeah, it would definitely help on a systemic point of view. It means that if you are doing work on yourself while you are doing the vaccines, or if the kids are listening to some specific harmonic boosts that are made for us while they are doing it, it will definitely help the body process the vaccine in a beneficial way, because you can process it in a beneficial way and you can process it in a harmful way. And it entirely depends on your own answer to it. The vaccine is just a message with a lot of messages. You have the disease, you have the adjuvants, you have a lot of things inside the vaccine, and your body can take it as good information, or it can just react badly to it. And there are so many different ways of reacting it that it's complicated to know how you will actually do it. But what I can say is that if you are working actively with BioCoherence, whether with the harmonic boost or the personal guide or anything that just focuses on your well-being, it will definitely help process it in a beneficial way.
But I'm talking about newborns and vaccines.
Yes, we don't really have guidance on how to work with newborns with BioCoherence. I would say that at least until the baby is 1 year old, you have to work with the mother at the same time of the baby because it's still a complete system, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So if the mother is working on something and you want to work with the baby, you have to work with the baby and the mother at the same time. And I would say if the mother is actively engaged into something related to BioCoherence, the baby will be engaged too.
Okay. Because I think that would be, it's a big topic over here. I'm sure over there, but it would be interesting because I know there's certain things where you can hold the food and how it affects you.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know if the name of the vaccine and like, is this good for my child? Or you know, or I don't know. In my mind, I was just wondering if there's.
You should be able to do the same with the biofeedback tests that we have in BioCoherence, but it's hard to. We are not equipped yet to test directly a baby because the heart rhythms are so different. Yeah.
Test for a vaccine because it doesn't have that problem yet.
Right.
Yes.
So the baby wouldn't need it. So it's all, and basically what he's doing with the frequency stuff, vaccines are kind of like a low grade, kind of like the worst way of going about implementing a frequency into a body for prevention.
Yes, but what she says is what Heidi asks is if there is a mandate to do the vaccine for whatever reason, how can we work on it? Yeah, and my answer would be work on the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, work on the mother in conjunction with the kid.
But also, it's a discussion between the mother and the father.
Yeah, sure.
And I think it would be cool if there was a tool to help the person who is pro vaccines to see how it would negatively affect. I mean, or maybe positively. I'm not going to take one side or the other, but
yeah, it's
research homeopathics because that's where vaccines started from. Was homeopathics. That's basically what.
You're talking about a child, so it's one a part A, one a part B. So if it's a mother and a father, then you'd still, even like Medrick says, work with the mother and the baby. But then now now the baby has some of the genes from the father. So then you got to get the father involved, and you got to look at the scans. The mother's the feeding force, but the father is part of the receptive force. You see what I'm saying?
But breast milk is the original vaccine.
Yes, well, exactly, but still,
renewed on.
Well, my father had, he had he didn't have RH. Well, he had RH positive blood. I didn't get it, right? My sister did, right? Why is that? Well, I mean, I don't know, but what I'm saying is the father gave it to my sister, didn't give it to me, right? But still, it's one of part A and then one of part B makes C, right? So, I mean, I don't know. This is more theory. Anyway, you guys just got me hooked. It's another very exciting. Thank you, Heidi. But I need to go. I got to shower because I got to drive to the doctor. Anyway,
yeah.
You guys, see you next week.
Bye, Dan. Thank you for your thoughts.
Okay. Shall we stop here, maybe? Unless anyone has a new question.
When you're done recording, Medrick, can we talk?
Yeah.